Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another Movies with People of Color month. And yeah, we got another doozy for you. This is not episode 9. I'll get to that probably next week. This is a 2023 movie, so it came out last year. It's an action film directed by Louis Leterrier with a screenplay, and I put that in quotation marks, written by Dan Mazzau and Justin Lin. This is right before he left after the last movie. Both of whom are co-wrote the story with Zach Dean. Story. What the hell was the story in this movie? It's the sequel to F9, which is one of the worst I've seen. I think that one was worse than this one. It's the 10th movie in this main installment, because there was a Hobbs and Shaw was a spinoff, and that is Fast X. X marks the spot. Yeah, right to its doom, because this movie was a lot. There was a lot of problems with this film. Is it horrible? No, but there's a lot of problems. This won't be as big a rant as I did with Last Jedi, because that was way longer. This movie was problem number one. The movie is 2 hours and 6 minutes. That may not sound like a lot to you guys, but compared to other movies in the franchise that were an hour and 40 minutes, like an hour and 45, maybe 90 minutes with with Tokyo Drift was about 96 minutes. This is too long. You don't need 85 characters in these movies. That's another problem I had. The reason these movies are 2 hours and change is because there's too many characters. You have the main cast that you've seen since the first movie. Dom, Letty. You have freaking Roman from the third one. You have freaking, or the second one. You have Tej, Tyrese and Ludacris. They both are in these movies. You have Han, why is he there? I don't know. But then you have cameos up the ass. You have Pete Davidson and Jason Statham and freaking Helen Mirren and Gal Gadot at the end. Well, yes, I'm going to spoil it if you haven't seen it. She makes a cameo at the end in a post-credit scene. Why? I don't know. How does she survive Fast 6? I have no idea. You have The Rock. You have the freaking British chick with the curly hair. You have, John Cena's character, Jacob. You have Dom's son. You have Alan Ritchson as the main, one of the main agents that's helped Dom on his quest. And you have Brie Larson, who I love seeing her here, but she did better in the Marvels. Sorry, that movie was shorter and it was not as cartoonish as this. And how does this movie cost $340 million? Where did the money go? It's a good looking film. Louis Leterrier's films always look good. The Transporter movie he did, Transporter 2, Incredible Hulk. These are good movies. They were well made, but they were under 2 hours. This movie is long in the tooth. They go to like 85 different countries and Antarctica, and the font is so big it's like right in your face. And I'm like, we know where you're headed to. You don't have to shove it in my face. This movie's trying to be like Captain America: Civil War, or Infinity War, or The Dark Knight Rises, where they have the big bomb at the end. Yeah, this is the big bomb in like the first 40 minutes of the movie. And it makes no freaking sense. This movie is a Looney Tunes cartoon. I was laughing my ass off with how stupid it is. That's all I can do, because at this point I'm like, these movies can't hurt me anymore. I've seen so many of them. They're interchangeable now. And also, why did the beginning start with a flashback? That's a retcon of Fast 5, which I'm like, Jason Momoa was not in that movie. His father, the Brazilian guy where they did the heist against him, he was there, but there was no mention of Momoa in the movie. They inserted him into the movie to try to make sense of it. I'm like, why are you hurting the other films? Breaking continuity. Momoa was great in the film. I thought he was the best part of the movie. His effeminate Joker, as much as I cringe with effeminate characters in movies painting their nails and shit, he has personality. Vin Diesel's like, I'm going to do this for my family for the whole movie. That's him in the whole movie. No charisma, no smiles, no energy. That's not like, he doesn't even react to stuff. He's just like, he's on autopilot because he doesn't care anymore. After Paul died, he stopped caring. And why did he have to show stock footage of Paul Walker? I miss him. I get it. He's gone. I don't want to be reminded that he's gone. It hurts too much. After Furious 7, this should have been over. But no, they keep going. The film made $700 million. Well, that's not technically a flop. It cost so much money that it lost some money at the box office. The sequel's in development. Is going to come out April 4th, 2025. Please end this. I don't want to see 18 more of these. There are too many of them. I own half of the movies on DVD and Blu-ray. I got the first film, the second film on Blu-ray, the third one, the fifth one, the sixth one, and the seventh one. I don't need any more. These are too many of these freaking movies. Plot. There is no plot in this movie. Dom has to protect his son from this crazy guy that's blowing shit up. That's basically the plot in a nutshell. They go to Rome in the beginning, and then they go to Brazil, then they go to Portugal, then they go here, then they go to freaking London, then they go... It's a mess. This is a convoluted mess. And the fact that people didn't walk out of this movie is beyond me, because I'm like, after this seventh movie, I stopped caring. I've never seen these films in the theater. I've always either seen them at home or elsewhere in college. And an extended cut. What extended cut? You're going to make the movie longer and even more freaking over the top? And there's a reason why these movies have had diminishing returns since 8. 8 made $1 billion, but after that it was downhill. Once the pandemic hit, it was done. These movies just don't make the money they used to. And when they cost almost $1 billion, it's too much. It's too much of an investment. See, as irredeemable, silly as it's satisfyingly self-aware, Fast X should rev the engines of longtime fans while relieving many newcomers in neutral. Yeah, that's how I felt about the movie, Josh. I didn't hate it. 9, I hated with a passion. Because that was boring and ridiculous, and the dialogue was way more cringe than here. There's some cringe dialogue here, but again, this was written by freaking robots. There's no explanation to how dumb the dialogue is sometimes. Roman noodles and nonsense. This is nonsense, or get the nun out of here, or whatever. And you know, it's awful. Some of the dialogue is just really bad. And the laws of physics don't apply here. Vin Diesel's car hits a wall. It doesn't blow up. He doesn't get scratched. He doesn't die. He doesn't even get a broken arm or nothing. He just gets out of the car like it's nothing. I don't get it. John Cena lifts a guy up, gives him an attitude adjustment through the freaking floor like he's Wanda from Civil War. They're copying better movies. Remember when Wanda shot Vision in the ground? She has superpowers. She's a witch. She has freaking magic. These characters are not superheroes. They're human beings. Why are they lifting cars with one arm and throwing people through the floor like a Home Alone trap? Home Alone mainly 2 and 3. Why? It doesn't make any freaking sense. This movie is a Looney Tunes cartoon. Seriously, the bomb at the end, that's straight out of a Looney Tunes short where they're throwing a bomb at somebody or they're trying to hide the bomb or a dynamite stick or whatever. It's mental. It is. It's crazy. And I really want this to just end already. And again, you should stop bringing... stop bringing people back from the dead that are supposed to be dead in the franchise. You did that with Letty, Han, and freaking Gal's character, and now the Rock didn't die, but he said he would never come back, and he did. Why? Because the DCU is over. That's why him and Gal are there. But like I said, the plot, it just goes all over the place. Focus on one story, not 14. I have ADHD, but I can't follow all these stories. It felt like Ocean's 12. Where you remember Ocean's 12? They go to like 5 different locations in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Focus on one place at a time, guys. You don't have to go all over the world in 2 hours. You don't. You're not Mission Impossible. Those films are better. There's only one bad movie, and that's the second one. The 7th one had problems, but being a cartoon was not one of them. And it didn't cost $300 million. It cost a lot less. Let's see how much it cost. Because that movie was also a disappointment. But again, the next one will do fine. Dead Reckoning Part 1. At least that movie also had a cliffhanger. This movie has literally a cliffhanger. Dante is about to blow up the bridge or whatever, and where Vin Diesel and his son are, and the movie just cuts to black. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You wasted 2 hours and 6 minutes to do this cliffhanger ending where there's no solution. It's just there's going to be another one. I know there's going to be another one. That's stupid. Mission Impossible cost $291 million. No, $219 million net. So it costs less because they didn't have 500 characters in it. And I'm conflicted because there's things I enjoyed in the movie. There's some good action, some here, like in the middle. There's some good stunt work. I like seeing his performance. Him and Dom's kid are fine together. But there's too many cameos. There's too many characters. There's too much going on. You're not Pirates of the Caribbean 3. You don't need to be 14 plots at once. We care about the racing in the beginning and a few action sequences that are fun. They don't have to be realistic, but stop doing this cartoonish BS. Please. It's old already. It was old when freaking Justin Lin was doing 6 and 9. Yeah, I don't know if he did 8. No, 8 was F. Gary Gray, but every director, like the movies get even worse. Rob Cohen started with the first one, which is normal compared to this. It was just people racing, and Vin Diesel was awake in that movie, and him and Paul Walker had great chemistry. Without that, it's like this thing is soulless now. It's just a cash grab. Danielle Melchior was fine. She's very attractive. When Momoa licked her face, I'm like, yeah, he has the right idea. I mean, she is a cat. But, you don't need 85 characters. Less is more. No one liked Days of Future Past because it had 85 characters. They liked it because the story flowed well. It was easy to follow. It was Wolverine going back in time and saving Xavier from, telling him he needed his help, in the 70s. It flowed well. Here it's like, we're going to go to 85 different places at once. You can do a lot with a lot of characters. If Infinity War, the Spider-Verse movies, and even freaking No Way Home taught us, is that juggling all these characters and stories is not impossible. But if it's a convoluted mess of a story that's gone on for too long, it's not going to work. The first Spider-Verse was under 2 hours, guys. Across the Spider-Verse went a little bit too long, but it at least flowed. And that is a cartoon, so it has an excuse. This is a literal live-action cartoon. People laughing, going... He literally... Dante blows up a guy when they're racing, and he's like, oh, no! And I was like, oh, my God, this is so stupid. It's a cartoon. Like, he knows he's an effeminate Joker. Painting his nails and talking to dead bodies and wearing purple. It's blatantly obvious what he is. He's not Aquaman here. He's a feminine Joker. And the movie's just, it drags. There's dramatic scenes that could have been cut entirely. The whole family thing, we get it. It's about family. And can you please stop showing the insignias of a cross in every freaking movie? Seriously, the only one that doesn't have a cross is like the second movie, because Dom is not in that one, and most of Lucas Black in Tokyo Drift. Everything else is, let's put the cross in your face. Let's put the cross in your face. I get it already. It's a freaking insignia. We don't need it. This is not a Pure Flix movie. It's an action movie. I want to shut my brain off. Yeah, that's how I want to enjoy Mission Impossible from now on. Or John Wick. John Wick doesn't have to have a freaking cross around his neck every 2 seconds and showing it right in your face. Again, I don't care about your insignias. I've seen enough of it in my life. But anyway, the movie's mediocre. At best, it's mediocre. It's not horrible. I would have put this in my worst list if I had seen it in the theater, but I didn't. I streamed it on Amazon Prime. Streaming it, it's way more bearable. I can go to the bathroom or go get a drink or stop the movie and pause it and just breathe, because that's what you got to do with a movie this long and this chaotic. And it only was the 5th highest grossing movie of last year, because half of the movies of 2023 bombed. Just like this movie's ending. You don't have to do 14 things in one movie. Do one thing at a time. Multiverse of Madness was less chaotic than this. And had a lot of cameos, but they were cool. Mostly. Here they have to pad out the running time, so they do the old tricks. Ass shots, racing, girls fighting each other like superheroes, Letty doing a freaking Street Fighter 2 kick, or the Superman punch that Roman Reigns does. Yeah, these are cartoons, guys. See, the filming locations that I said, they took place in London, Rome, Turin, Lisbon, LA, Antarctica, and Portugal. That's like 7 places, guys. Stick to 1 or 2, not 7. See, the film received mixed reviews, and that's being nice. They praise the action sequences. They're fine. You can see them. They're ridiculous, but they're fine. Momoa's performance, but criticize the writing. The writing's awful. Yeah, just like the fourth movie, this eighth movie, the ninth movie, and probably Hobbs and Shaw. And Josh is like, you can't see that. It has people you don't like. Again, Josh, I got to sit through the pain to get to the pleasure. Think about that. I got to sit through a 2 hour and 46 minute movie in 3 weeks that has Florence Pugh, and I haven't seen her in a movie in the theater since Black Widow. And it has freaking Austin Butler, who can't act. Most of the people in this movie can act, except for the British chick, but she's basically a non-component. She's there to be on the computer, talk, and throw one kick. That's it. Whoopee. When the worst problem is not the British chicks, you know you did something wrong. It's how chaotic the movie is. It's just too long. Too many things happening. Too many characters. Scenes that they defying the laws of gravity. And the cars can go super fast. I'm fine with that. But don't make the cars fly and hit a wall and then nothing happens. I know that they're hybrids, so they're not going to blow up like a gas car. But if you did that with a gas car from the 70s or 80s, it would have blown up. You know, Batista was lucky that he said no to films like this, because he says I want to make good movies like Glass Onion and Guardians and not Knock at the Cabin or whatever. Those are way better than this. They're shorter. They're not a cartoon. Even the first Dune, he was in that, and that was great. It's not a cartoon. It's not. It takes itself seriously, and people were invested. That's why the sequel's coming out in a few weeks, and I can't wait to see it. But I have to endure a long running time with a Binto that can't act that's going to be like this. Yeah, I'm tired of stoic characters. Show some emotion. Smile for once. It's not going to kill you. Yeah, show some expression on your face. Momoa's like, ooh, at least he's showing some emotion. He's having fun. These people are not having fun. They're just doing this. This is paint by the numbers. We got to get through this to get our paychecks and just end this franchise. Even though it should have ended with Fast and the Furious 7. But anyway, it's not good, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Take that for what you will, but I've seen worse. 4 had Paul Walker, and that was worse than this, because it had CGI cars and an incoherent story too, and a lame villain. But at least it was shorter. At least Gal did more in that movie than here. Here she's just a cameo. The Rock is just a cameo. Those are the breaks, guys. Yeah, I made a funny. Haha. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Fast X. It's not good, but is it the worst? No. I didn't have high expectations for this, even when I saw the trailer. When I saw that scene with Vin destroying the helicopters, smashing together with a car, I'm like, that's impossible. This is a superhero movie. It would be fine if it was one, but it's trying to be, and it's not. Don't try to be something that you're not. Fast and the Furious, you're done. If the next movie has a freaking Transformer and a Velociraptor on top, that's going to make more sense than this. Because I'm like, yeah, you already jumped the shark like 4 movies ago. But anyway, if you want to see it, it's on Amazon Prime. You don't have to pay for it. Knock yourselves out. But I would say just see it once, never see it again. And trust me, I will never watch this again. Tolerable is the best I can say. Because Fast 9 was just too much. And 8 was okay, but not great. I haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw, but I probably will. But it is what it is. These movies just are there to make money, because that's all they're doing. Like the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Nothing special about them. Just make the money and go merrily on your way. But rest in peace, Paul Walker. We miss you. This franchise has not been the same since you left this earth. Too soon, man. But anyway, that's my review of Fast X. I'll see you guys later. Acknowledge me and see this review. Share it on social media. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm doing a podcast for Black Panther. You know, a good over 2 hour movie. Later.